the urban part of the states or various states, it is going to be impossible for trees,
It
to.
not
Not
impossible.
impossible.
It would
Okay.
make it reduce it to maybe a minimum. All right. Now instead of having forests, we just have sparsely planted
Okay,
trees and all
okay,
of that
okay.
because of urbanization and
All
all.
right.
But where urbanizing, there is no plan as to where
Is cities and towns,
You know, they can do. Even local governments, okay?
All
All
right now,
governments
all
can
right
do.
now,
It's just
yeah.
to plant a tree. They're benefiting from all of that. I mean, you would be surprised the amount of
I mean, there's
difference.
shade to sun. I mean, if you're trekking, for those of you who remember, there's one time the president gave a speech. I mean, one of the most controversial speeches in the era of President Muhammadu Buhari. That was last year at the UN General Assembly meeting, I think, the 75th one, where he talked about making sure that, he would give, was it 1,000? I can't remember, but he said he was going to give the youths the ability to plant trees. And I'm wondering, since October, November last year, we still yet to see.
Well,
It's still yet that is, I think, Kaduna Polytechnic has developed machines to fight COVID-19. According to this report, the rector, the Cardinal Action Against COVID-19, rector of the CAD Professor Idris Bits. I'm going to, drag ASU.
Oh,
Now, CAD I think it's owned by to help in the fight against COVID-19. Now, the question I'm asking in my head is, should we not be seeing ASU? ASU has been demanding for a lot of stuff recently, but isn't it time for them to prove their mettle and go out there and show why in the fight against COVID-19 by bringing innovations, technological interventions? Just maybe people will say, ASU is very productive. ASU is very vibrant. Maybe we like, if, they're out there sourcing for interventions and technology innovations instead of, going around and shouting, we'll not go back to work.
okay. But the point is this. Now, this is a university system, right? This is a tertiary institution, right?
Yeah.
So that's ASU. It's not just the federal government. Do we have the support from the government? I mean, you want to talk about innocent motors coming out to say, look, we can make this story might just die as fast as it came, and you won't hear anything about it. You won't hear.
But
development.
the first did ventilator. University of Port Harcourt just did get the point.
Maybe we have misplaced priorities. Because trust me, I do believe we have the brains here in Nigeria. I do believe. I mean, really focus on that. We didn't look into that, and then later people started to say, "Oh, I used black seed oil. I used so ingredient," and most of those
To the first quarter of 2022. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's coming from the federal government, okay, monitored by one of our correspondents in Abuja on Thursday night. He said, and I quote, "The second Niger, their expected delivery dates are in the first quarter of 2020. This is for their survival. Will tell you that the bottlenecks and traffic time on the road are significant 2022. Before I talk, because the Lagos to Ibadan Expressway, for one, has been under construction for as long as I can remember.
I know.
As long as I can remember.
Just like
And
the
trust me,
express road.
it didn't start under this administration, I think. I
And
think it
it
started
didn't-
under Obasanjo.
Yeah, I think so too.
And for me, I feel like for a government that comes out really boldly to say by 2022 this will happen. I mean, was it yesterday? We were saying,
Let me shock you now. Let me shock you. That COVID-19 is around, and the lockdown made it
It's
impossible for contract back. Yeah.
I think a certain committee has summoned the Minister of Budgets to talk about how much monies have been spent in electricity without yielding anything at all. And then you would ask yourself, with all of this going on, with all the probing and all the more monies we're getting that sometimes we may not even be able to account for, if we would really realistically reach the goal of 2022, 2023, 100,000 megawatt of electricity, and then completion of certain major roads in the country and all of that.
Lines, but let's move to more serious conversations now. 32. I'm looking at this report. It is from only two states. Only two states will be able to pay salaries. What they will be sharing in June is half of what they shared in January. The civil servants have now is that no state can say, go home, I am not paying. But states can decide to pay slashed salaries because one cannot appropriate and reprobate at the same time. So the state can only pay from what it has. If it has nothing, what will it pay? We are in dire straits. Some states such as Kaduna, Delta, Plateau, Taraba, Gombe, among others, are slashing salaries already.
This was, first of all, this was expected to happen.
Very expected.
Secondly, we've been talking about states go the month. It's as simple as that. I mean, certain states wouldn't have problems with this.
About how the federal government, the CBN, has been talking about the cut in allocation to states and all of that. And then we've also seen that most of those states, what will be the faith of workers if the federal government peradventure oil and all of that, then it was most expected. So now
look at the Daily Post and many other news platforms, you would see Professor Wole Soyinka. On Monday, we had the ex-military governor of Kaduna State,
Umar
I believe.
Dangi,
Yeah, Presido. Your appointments are lopsided. And it got me thinking in some of those appointments, and there was, some kind of uncertainty. Another time when he came out to say something, I cannot remember. But the truth is Soyinka playing bitter politics because
some people have so much influence on the government. I would understand. That's understandable. But for him to come out to say, look, the president is not in charge of the government, that's quite a degree of lopsidedness within this government and stuff like that. According to him, he knows Buhari.
I feel maybe that's what. Okay. No, I feel like that's what he's trying to say. Maybe he's trying to say the cabal has got so much influence.
But this is Professor Wole Soyinka
in certain decisions, and that's what he's saying.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm not.
Let's just.
But maybe he wanted something. Okay, let's not do any conspiracy theories now. But we're gonna open the phone lines. But not that 20 patients have been discharged from the Rivers State COVID-19 isolation centers, bringing the total number of recoveries in the state to 197. In the meantime, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control has reported 21 new cases in Rivers State. That's bringing the total number of infections to 290. Be safe and try not to contract the coronavirus. Remember that you're probably spreading it. I do not know. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying stay safe for the sake of your family today, not again today. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Well, because if I thought that Buhari is not dead or is not around Nasrok, let them open the app.
Thank you very much. I wouldn't have that on the show. Sorry about that. Constructive with your arguments. Keep your calls coming in 081700. Sorry, apologies. You know how these things work. Taking any more details and all of that. And we want.
He's not in charge. If you want to wait things going, he's not the one. I know the one.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in. Okay. It was trending on Twitter. Where is it now? I need to look for it.